What's up, everybody? Alex Kirby here with the Green Up Academy podcast, where we help you level up your green industry business one episode at a time. Hope you guys are doing great wherever you're listening here in the world. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the state of the green industry. I'm going to give a little bit of a state of the union from what I see from the green industry, from those hundreds of you who I talk to on a yearly basis who are green industry pros. You're down, you're in the business, you're getting your boots dirty, you're up late doing paperwork and invoicing and all that stuff. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit of the trends I see, some things I think that could be helpful for you looking towards 2025 and Equip Expo. And I think it's going to be very helpful if you can kind of have a mindset towards the future and not just where you're at today. So let's jump right in here on my State of the Union in the green industry.
Welcome to the Green Up Academy podcast with Alex Kirby, where we focus on helping you level up your green industry business. Whether it's marketing, finance, employees, or strategy, we talk about everything on this show to help you apply it to your business and change your family and company's future for decades to come. Here's your host, Alex Kirby.
What's up, everybody? Good to talk to you guys today. Hope you're doing great wherever you're listening throughout the world. We are so thankful that you are taking the time to jump into our podcast. I've been doing this podcast a long time. If you guys remember, it used to be called the Down to Business podcast. It was more of a generic business podcast, but as the green industry has become something I've, year over year, I'm almost at a decade now in the green industry. Owned a company for 7 years, did it as a side hustle for 1 year, and now I'm 1 year out. So 9 years in. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about the green industry. I talk to a lot of you guys, and I get to hear a lot of cool stories, and I hear a lot of not so cool stories. So what we're going to be talking about today is kind of the State of the Union, theme, and I'm calling it the State of the Green Industry. And that's something that, it's just my opinion. Don't take it too serious. I'm not a guru. I don't think I have all the answers, but I do think I have a lot of good things to say as a person who has had some success and someone who talks to hundreds of lawn and landscape business owners and tree owners and tree company owners and stuff like that. So, and maybe it resonates with you. Hopefully it does. Maybe you're like, actually, Alex, you message me or email me and you're like, I totally disagree. I don't feel that at all. It's not been a problem for us. I'd love to hear why or why not it has been. If you're doing something that could be helpful to people, I want to have you on the show and have you say your things that you're doing that may be proprietary or maybe, just like wildly good ideas that no one's really heard of. If that's you, I'd love to hear from you. But first off, I just want to remind you guys that we have our Green Up Gathering at Equip Expo coming up. It's going to be on Wednesday night. I think it's October 16th. And it's going to be from 6:30 to 10:30 at main event. We have tickets still available for that. They're $60 a piece, but that includes a very, very robust dinner, unlimited games. I'm going to be giving a talk. We have a lot of raffles to give away. It's going to be a great time. So we have limited spots on that. Please sign up for that today if you don't mind, because I have to have a certain amount of tickets sold before the event so we can secure that place. So really excited to just hang out with you guys, all these people, all of you guys that I get to hear from, talk to, listen to the podcast for a long time. Just want to be able to have an intimate setting. There's only 40 tickets for that reason. So you guys make sure you do that. So here's kind of where I'm at with the state of the industry. Like I said, I haven't experienced like the amount of guys and you guys who have said how hard this year has been overwhelming to the people who say it's been a great year. And it definitely has to do with the obvious things: inflation, gas prices, employee issues, political turbulence, you name it, right? But it's not just that, right? The majority of people listening, maybe including yourself, are mowing people. So, excuse me, you mow grass. You're a lawn maintenance company, whether it be commercial, residential, hybrid, whatever the case may be. And the fact of that is that margin is becoming very hard to make a profit in, because as prices go up, the pricing that you try to raise to your customers cannot keep up. Wages and inflation and gas and insurance and debt recuperation. It's just rising at a rate that you can't really raise your rates, or you should, but it's really difficult to do to keep up with that, because we all know and we feel it, because there's such a low entry point to mowing. Chuck in a truck or Bob and a John Deere can go and get in business with a couple $1,000 and charge $40. So it pushes that price down. Where in hardscaping and tree work, you can't really do that nearly as easily. I'm sure someone's going to be listening and be like, oh yeah, I know a guy with a tree. No, like it's much more difficult because it's skilled work, right? You've got, tree climbers. And I was talking to a guy who's a new client of ours at Backbone, my marketing agency. If you guys need anything, hey, plug. He's one of our clients, and he's a business owner. And man, the dude's making $3,500 a day with 3 guys, showing me the jobs. Like, the margins are there, but obviously a lot more risk and a lot of skill. So that's something that I notice, without going into it too long, is the margins are getting squeezed in the lawn and landscape industry. Mulch, even the mulch and pine straw and all that stuff. So one, really, really tough. Employee situations, super tough. COVID has created, we don't realize what, until the last 18 to 24 months, 2020, 2021, and possibly 22, we didn't see the ramifications of what comes out of that. The government's pumping money into our businesses, into the economy to try to stabilize it. They're paying people to stay home. They're doing mandates. They're creating confusion, chaos, and, emotional instability. And so I feel like 2023 and 2024, we kind of see the fallout from that. And a big one has been employees and the new issues that have arisen with employees. As I talk to many of you, you're having issues with employees who go, one of the guys I talk to all the time, he said last week, I've got an employee who's been with me for 2 years who, when he's done with his route at 2:00, he wants to go home. And the guy's like, hey, you're not going to get 3 hours of work of pay. He's like, I don't care. I want to go home. So he goes home, and then when the paycheck comes on Friday, he's complaining about not having hours. So there's this, I know so many of you have experienced that or are experiencing that. Dustin Penley, a guy who's been on the show before, made a joke a couple weeks ago, but it's not really a joke. It's a sad joke, where he was like, not a bad Monday, only 1 out of 2 guys called out. So it's like the overwhelming consensus I'm getting from you guys is employees are a major issue this year, especially. Just from the basic things like showing up and doing what they're supposed to do. Not even, all-stars. We're just talking about the guys you do have. So that's another thing that I've noticed, and I'd love to hear feedback on. And then what creates what comes out of those two problems is number 3 that I wrote down, is the overarching themes. And it's really tough to plan ahead for 2025 when you don't know what it's going to hold, right? We've got the most polarizing election of all time, happening within 90 days of now. So today's September 5th. Today's September 4th when I record this. We've got about 12 to 14 weeks before we decide who's going to run this country for the next 4 years. And it couldn't be more of a polarizing and important thing. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. With the economy, we've had high mortgage rates for over a year now, and we don't know when those are coming down. I have friends who can't buy houses, and they make enough money to buy a house, but the rates are so high they can't afford to buy a house right now. It's very, very tough. And then you guys know how that affects you with your business. Your debt rate goes higher. Your cash flow gets squeezed because people aren't paying as fast, or the commercial things you have, all of a sudden the check's getting lost. It just gets out of control, right? And so it makes it tough to plan ahead for next year of how aggressive should I be? Should I not be? Should I scale back? And as you guys know, the economy, the way it works is if you don't hire people in you may think, oh man, I only have 4 employees or 2 employees. How much does it affect it? Well, look, if you don't hire people, then other people aren't hiring people. And so the economy gets squeezed and there's less jobs and there's more unemployment. And so it gets really crazy really fast. And so I've talked to a lot of you guys who are just like, I don't know how to plan for next year. I mean, do I be conservative? Do I not? So those are kind of like the 3 main things that I've heard consistently from you guys. One thing that I want to point out that may be a little seem a little random, and I'd appreciate if you tune into this. One thing I see from my end on like the media consulting side is how crazy it has gotten money hungry. And look, guys, I'm not going to apologize and not going to lie and say like, look, the Green Up Academy is something that I started because I've been consulting and coaching guys for years. Like this is year number 5 where I used to charge just $50 for a call, or, I got to, I'm doing calls at nighttime because I care and I got to make something, right? And now we've put a lot of resources and time and energy into making it a real thing to help you go from what we call 0 to hero. Okay. And so I'm not opposed to people making money. I do it. Okay. It's not about that, because just like you want to be compensated for mowing grass, I need to be compensated, and others in the space need to be compensated for the time, expertise, and energy that they give to others. That makes total sense to me. The thing that I'm seeing that really causes me concern, and that's why I've been blacklisted by a few influencers over the last couple of years, is how it does not equal what they're offering versus what they actually have. Meaning, they're writing books on how to grow a business. They've never grown one. Okay? They're offering $400 an hour consulting services on how to grow your business. They've never grown their own business. Okay? The inconsistencies really bother me, and they're getting more and more people in the space to do it, which means the reason why I'm saying it is you are a target of those people. The only way they make money is for you to sign up for their things. That makes sense. I offer services in the same way. But here's the thing. They need you to do it. The only way, like, they haven't done enough in their other things where they need the money to pay their bills. So it gets more and more desperate, or it gets more and more sexy looking. There was one thing recently that was put out by an influencer where they were charging multiple thousands of dollars, and I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to make it too obvious, multiple thousands of dollars for a service or a situation to sign up that is very simple, and it's a very niche amount of people who may even be able to do it, okay? I did the math. This return was like $100,000 for like a few calls and advice that you could easily get off YouTube or paying one-time call for somebody. And it's just getting bananas. Like this person, yeah, I don't want to say too much because I'm not trying to start drama. My goal is not to call people out unless I start thinking I don't know. I don't want to cause issues in that manner. My goal is not to tear people down, but to build people up. But it's gotten bananas, and I don't want you to fall for it, okay? Like some of these events people are putting on for $300, $400, $500. For what? They didn't even do it themselves, guys. I played baseball my whole life, and I was a pretty good player. I was a top recruit my senior year. I got scholarships, all that stuff, whatever. Who cares? But I gave baseball lessons after my career because I was a good baseball player, okay? I hit over 300 in my career. I was a 2-time Gold Glove winner. I was all conference, and but if I didn't have a small knee injury, I think it was possible I got drafted my senior year, okay? But it kind of hindered me. All that to say, I had a track record of doing it, and so I offered the service. For some reason in the green industry, people who don't have a track record offer services because they're good at social media, and they're taking advantage of people. So that's something this year specifically. I don't know if it's because the economy's bad or tricking people more and because people are desperate. I don't know what the deal is, but I just want to say on here, watch out for that. Not all are bad. There are some really good guys out there who I would trust, and I paid a consultant my last 2 years a lot of money a month to be in a group. I'm not opposed to it at all. I paid a ton of money, and it was the value surpassed that money 10 times. Okay, it's about value. You're not going to get value from a person who hasn't actually grown a business. They don't understand what it's like to have a fake workers' comp claim like I have and others have. They don't understand what it's like to have to fire 5 people in a day because you found out they were taking advantage of you or mowing their own lawns on your time. They don't know what it's like to have to deal with a drug addict who you found out was high at work and how to get him into rehab. They don't know. They haven't done it. They've talked to people who've done it, but they haven't done it. And it's one thing to position yourself as a person who is a reporter, like a personality, and saying, hey, I talked to these people, here's what they say. But when they start positioning themselves as an expert, it's wrong. It's wrong to do. And I don't want you, our listeners and our followers, to fall for it. If you don't sign up for me, I don't care. You do whatever you want to do. It's your life. It's your business. I'm here as a resource if I can help you. I do free, assessment calls. I'm telling you, I want to help. But what I don't want is you to fall for a guy who's snake oil and snake skin because they've been big in the industry for a long time, because they were on YouTube first, because whatever the case may be. And it's frustrating. So that on the online space, I wanted to just say that, like, I've seen a lot of that. There are so many great people in the space, though. There really, really are. There's some great people who want to help and want to do good. But there's a lot of people who are selling snake oil. And so I'm just telling you. So what does that put us in the state of the industry? One thing I wrote down is less is more right now. Okay. If you are wanting to grow, you have to really have done a study on if you're going to get a return based on your investment. Okay. Taking big risks is not a great idea right this moment, in my opinion. You could disagree. I'm okay with that. But opening a second location, you have to really know data, demand, profitability, all these studies that it's going to work. I met with another of our clients literally yesterday, and he has a very successful landscape supply company, very successful. I mean, the numbers are awesome. He's very young, under 30, very proud of him. He was going to open a second location, but after prayer and realizing exactly what we're talking about, he decided he needed to wait 18 months to see if he had all his stuff together, cash, all that stuff. And I was super proud of it. Like, he had no idea I was going to talk about this today, but I was super proud talking to him. Like, man, you made such a wise decision. And I think for you guys listening, less is more right now. If you're profitable right now, don't go and bet the farm on next year by, I'm going to go 3 crews next year. When I did that, I went from 2 crews to 5. I put a 90 to 100 grand cash in my business going into 2019. I bet the farm on it. But guess what? I had a big agreement with a company, so I knew I was going to have the work, and the economy was awesome. President Trump, it was right before President Trump, right? No, it was right during President Trump's reign. Things were going really well. Again, not a pro-Trump endorsement type thing. I'm just saying the economy was really, really strong. Everything, indicators was pointing up, and so I made the choice there. Right now, things are not that way. So I think less is more right now. The second thing I wanted to say about, okay, what do I go from here is focus on profit. I'm starting to read a book called Profit First. I know a lot of you have heard that book. I didn't know about that book till recently, which is funny because I'm always talking about, my little phrase is, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. And so someone told me to get the book, and, oh, you sound just like this guy. So I'm about to read it, but I think the guy's name is Mike something that wrote it. But profit is the point, guys. It's not about revenue in your company. If you need to let go of a couple guys and get your profit and get you a bulk of cash, that's what you have to do right now. Okay, in your business. You can't just keep going, well, you know what, I'm not paying myself, it's going to be okay, I'm going to weather the storm. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. You've got to get to profitability in times like this so that you can prepare for what's to come, which we don't know what's to come. That's my whole point. Okay, so that's the second one. Then the third point is stop taking on debt in times like this. Do not go to Equip and go to Sheffield Financial, which is one of the booths that all of us have financed a mower from or whatever. We all know them. They're all lurking around. Sheffield, here they come. Sheffield, 0% interest. Nope. All the interest is worked into fees. It's more like 2 to 4% interest if you look in the fine lines in the paperwork. Okay. It's not 0%. They can't make money on it that way. Duh. It's just packaged as 0%. Okay. Debt is really not a good decision going into next year, in my opinion. I don't think you should keep adding on to it. I don't think you should do it to save anything. If you feel like, oh man, I need to get this truck to save my company, you're already in a terrible spot, okay? And you're in a bad spot. Don't put yourself in a worse position. So debt, don't do debt right now, okay? And then kind of the last thing I have to say is look for opportunity. Look for opportunity wherever you can. Don't wait for opportunities. Go look for opportunities, okay? And this, State of the Union type thing, opportunities are hard to come by, so you need to go look for them. Don't just keep waiting for your phone to ring, waiting for HOAs to call or opportunities like that. Go look for it. Go out there and grind. I think I've told this story a lot of times, but one of the best agreements and contracts we ever had at Trifecta, my landscape company, was because I went in and had I actually told the lady at the desk, hey, I'm here to see this guy. She says, he expecting you? I said, yes, which kind of a lie. And I got a meeting with him, and I had been emailing him, so he knew who I was when I introduced myself, and ended up getting a huge agreement with them over the next couple months. So I created that opportunity for myself. And I think you've got to hustle. Join a BNI group. I've talked about that. Go and do what you need to do. Don't keep doing the same things you've been doing. It ain't going to work for much longer. You got to go out and make those opportunities. So hope this has been a great episode for you guys. I just wanted to kind of share some thoughts on there and let y'all know how much I love you. I'm so thankful to be a part of anything I'm able to with the Green Up Academy. I love all our crew members. If you're interested in that, I'm going to do in the next couple weeks, we're going to do another crew interest meeting for free. If that's something you're interested in doing. So it's very affordable, $159 a month. You're part of our group calls, our community, our group chats, and access to me one-on-one. And it's just, I think it's just been so great to see guys' businesses transform and lives transform this year in person, up close. And then obviously if you need coaching, consulting stuff, I'm here for you. And we've got some exciting stuff coming that I'll be announcing you soon. But again, make sure you sign up for Equip, our Green Up Gathering. You guys go leave us a review, and thank you guys. God bless you. This is Alex Kirby from the Green Up Academy podcast. We'll see you next time.